Hey guys, it's Redox. Welcome back to another Teamfight Tactics video. And in this video, I'm going to show you guys the item tier list. In this website, I'm going to put in the link below. Does a great job at kind of showing you guys which items you should go for, which items you should stay away in the current meta. Now, of course, Riot is continuously going to work on patches and buffing and nerfing certain items and champions, so this may all change. But currently, this is the tier list for June, so let's go over some of these items here. Now, I'm going to go over the first item here. It's called the Force of Nature, gain +1 team size. Now, why is this item good? Why is it on the S tier? Well, because the Force of Nature, which is built from 2 spatulas, it's right here. If you have 2 spatulas and you put it on a champion, combine it together, that's how item building works, by the way, in this game, guys. You need 2 small items, and then they'll combine into something big. So small items meaning like Chain Vest, Recurve Bow, Spatula, Tear of Goddess, stuff like that. The big items are like Blade of the Ruined King, Zephyr. All of these items on the S tier list are big items. So they're built from 2 little items. So that's how item building works. You're supposed to combine 2 little items into 1 big item. Once you do that, your big item cannot actually be uncombined. You can't actually split the big item and make 2 small items. So you need to be careful about which items you make. So let's go back to the Force of Nature. So that's how you build items, but why this item is so good. And it builds from 2 spatulas. You gain 1+ team size. So let's say you are at level 7 and you can put 7 units on the board. You can put 8 units on the board. So technically you're a level 8 already because you can put 8 units on the board, but you're not actually level 8. You're still at level 7. And that's why this item is so good. It doesn't do anything else, but you getting an extra unit on the board is a huge advantage. The second item here is the Frozen Heart. Adjacent enemies lose 20% attack speed, and you get also for the stats, you'll also get +20 mana from the start of your champion, and you'll also get +20 armor. So that's what the red shield and that little blue sign you see below Frozen Heart, that's what it means. So you get +20 mana and +20 armor. So this item is built from the Tear of Goddess, which gives you +20 mana from the start of the turn, and it's built from a Chain Vest. So when you have both of these items combined together, you have a Frozen Heart, and this item is really good because you get to reduce the attack speed of all your champions that's around this Frozen Heart unit. And in Teamfight Tactics, attack speed is very good. Items that give you a lot of attack speed are top-notch items, especially you can see here on the S tier, these 3 items right here pretty much all give you some type of attack speed. And we're going to go over the next one right here, which is Gwinsu's Rage Blade. It gives you 3% attack speed, which stacks infinitely. So non-stop attack speed stacking, which is really good. The Gwinsu's Rage Blade is built from a Recurve Bow, and it's built from the Needlessly Large Rod. So you gain +20% spell damage, and you also get +15% attack speed. And you get a bonus ability once you combine them together into the Rage Blade, which gives you 3% attack speed every time your champion attacks, and it just stacks continuously. And since there's no limit, your champion can attack super fast. Now, why is attack speed important? Attack speed is very important in this game because that's how your champions stack mana. If your champion is attacked by your opponents, or when your champion is attacking an enemy, you stack mana, and you stack mana quickly if you can attack faster. And being able to attack faster and stack mana quickly, it means you can fire off those active skills much quickly. For example, Aurelian Soul is really good with this item, and a lot of other casters as well that have very strong abilities like to have attack speed items like this, which will make them stack mana quicker, and then they can fire off their laser beam and their active skill a lot more frequently. That's why attack speed is so good in this game, because that's how you gain mana from stacking and attacking continuously or getting attacked by opponents. That's why these items are so good. Now, the next attack speed item, once again, another S tier item, is the Phantom Dancer. It gives you +15% attack speed and +20 armor. Wearer dodges all critical strikes. So the Phantom Dancer is built from the Recurve Bow, and it's built from the Chain Vest. Now, why is the Phantom Dancer so good? Not only does it give you attack speed and armor, it gives you a dodge or invincibility to all critical strikes. Now, how critical strikes work in this game is all your champions in this game, every single champion in this game automatically gains a 25% chance to critical strike. That's right, there you don't actually need to get anything to get your champions to crit. You have a 1 in 4 chance for all your champions to crit. I believe this is the right number. I believe 25% is the right number, but maybe it might be a bit lower. But anyways, my whole point is every champion comes with a small chance to critically strike. So by having the Phantom Dancer on, your opponent cannot critically strike at all on this champion, which means your champion will never get double the damage on him. And critical strike, it does a lot of damage. If your opponent is able to crit you, and they go for an assassin build, assassins can go up to plus 350% critical strike damage, and they can one-shot guys. By having this item, you're kind of nullifying the assassin's ability completely, and it also gives you armor and attack speed, so extra survivability. And that's why, once again, Phantom Dancer is an S tier item. The next item is the Rapid Fire Cannon. This gives you plus 30% attack speed. Wearer's attacks cannot be dodged. Attack range is doubled. How you build a Rapid Fire Cannon? Well, you stack 2 recurve bows. Once you get 2 recurve bows, you can build into a rapid fire cannon. And why is the rapid fire cannon so good? Once again, attack speed is a really good mechanic in this game because your champions are able to attack faster, dish out more damage, and be able to fire off active skills quicker with your mana stacking up rapidly. And not only that, but you also have your attack range doubled, and your attacks cannot be dodged. So there are Yordles in this game. If you have 6 Yordles on the map, those Yordles can be pesky because they can dodge up to 50% of the time on attacks. But with the rapid fire cannon, you'll have a double attack range, and you'll kill those Yordles very easily if your opponents decided to go for an evasive Yordle build, and you'll have plus 30% attack speed as well. And when we say the attack range is doubled, for example, Ashe, who has a very long range in the game, Ashe has 4 grid attack range, she'll get 8 grids. That's a lot of range. Pretty much she's going to be able to stand in one spot and fire away from there. And Ashe is a very, very good champion with this item, especially because she's also a glacial champion, so she has a very good chance to stun units, and all she's going to do is stand and fire away. She never has to move. Essentially, this item makes your ranger into a sniper. The next item here is the Spear of Shogun. After casting, wearer gains 15% of its max mana per attack. The Spear of Shogun is built from the Tear of Goddess, and it's built from the BF sword. Now, why is the Spear of Shogun so good? You get plus 20 attack, you get plus 20 mana from the start of the turn, just like the Frozen Heart, you get plus 20 mana from the start of the turn. This item, first of all, gives you plus 20 mana. Right? So let's say your skill required 100 mana to use. So right off the bat, you start at 20 mana, so you only need to get 80 mana to use your active skill. So not only does it allow you to use your active skill faster, but after you cast your spell, your champion gains 15% of its mana back per attack. So he will get to fire his cannon, he'll be able to fire his active skill a lot more quickly as he attacks. And that's why the Spear of Shogun is so good, because it gives you a lot of good mana regeneration, and it gives you some attack damage plus 20. That's not bad. So the Spear of Shogun is once again a great item to stack your mana very quickly. It's great for mana casters like Aurelion Sol and Blitzcrank. Now let's go to the A tier list here. I'm not really going to talk about every single item from this point. Ideally, these S tier items are the items you guys want to go for, okay? And how you build them, I kind of just told you guys how to build them here. But let's go over the A tier items. The Chain Vest, the Recurve Bow, these two are just standard items. So they're first tier items. They're not second tier items. These are items that build into stuff like I was mentioning. If you want to go for the Rapid Fire Cannon, you stack 2 Recurve Bows for that. So these are good items they can put on your champions, and these are good because there's a lot of attack damage champions in the game, so plus 20 armor gives you more survivability. And once again, attack speed is always good in this game, as mentioned before, because your champion will be able to do more damage and will be able to fire off their active skills more by stacking more mana. And spatulas, why is this good? Well, because double spatulas build into Force of Nature, and we talked about this, having an extra champion on the board is just amazing. But spatula by itself doesn't do anything. You can actually combine a spatula with other stuff. So if you don't combine 2 spatulas together, you can do spatula and a Giant's Health Belt, which is at the C tier list, for the Frozen Mallet. And the Frozen Mallet just gives you plus 200 health, but the wearer is also a glacial unit, and that's why the Frozen Mallet is in the A tier list. The reason why is right now glacials, we're talking about Ashe, Volibear, those kind of classes, the guys who stun, right? this Frozen Mallet will give a champion that's not glacial. So that champion, for example, like Vayne, who is not glacial, will be glacial. So that's one less glacial unit that you can get that you don't need to search for. For example, Anivia is the final glacial unit. She's a 5 gold costing glacial unit that's difficult to find. And if you want the full 6 champion glacial bonus, you need to have 6 different glacial units on the map. So by giving the Frozen Mallet, making someone else a glacial unit reduces that condition, and you only need 5 glacials. So it's going to be 5 plus 1 Frozen Mallet champion that has this item that makes him glacial, and you have the full 6 glacial build going on with 45% chance to stun. So as long as glacial is a top tier class, Frozen Mallet's going to be good. Now, if Glacial is bad, the Frozen Mallet won't be as good anymore. And that's what the Spatula does. The Spatula combined with some different items will give the wearer that type of class, that secondary or third type of class. So if you do Spatula and I believe the BF sword right here together, you get the Yumu's Ghost Blade. Wearer is also an assassin. So once again, 6 assassins give you 350% critical strike damage, and that's why the Yumu's Ghost Blade is good, because assassins are pretty good in the game right now. And being able to reduce that one extra condition to have 6 assassins by giving the Spatula and the BF sword combined together, giving this Yumu's Ghost Blade to somebody, making him an assassin reduces that condition, makes it easier for you to get 6 assassins quickly on the board because you have this Yumu's Ghost Blade on that guy. Same thing with the Yumi. Wearer is also Sorcerer, and Sorcerer right now is also a powerful class. And to get this, it's a Spatula and it's a needlessly large rod combined together. You'll get the Yumi item, and you give it to a champion that's not a sorcerer. There you go, that champion becomes a sorcerer. Sorcerers are really powerful right now. So as long as assassins, sorcerers, and glacials are top tier class, these items are going to be on the A tier list. But if these classes fall off, these items are going to be lower, because aside from making them these kind of strong types of classes or origins, yeah, they give you a little bit of the plus 20% spell damage or whatnot, but they don't give you any secondary effect. Normally you can see these big items give you something else, like the Thornmail here, for example. It gives you 40 armor, and it gives you a secondary effect here at reflect 35% of the damage taken from attack. So it's really good because right now the meta favors a lot of attack damage champions like assassins and rangers, so the Thornmail will deflect a lot of their attacks. And the Bloodthirster is really good because attacks heal for 50% of the damage. Ludin's Echo, that's another great item. Spells deal 200 splash damage on hit, so great on casters as well. You'll do more damage with the splash damage. Morello's is really good. Spells deal burn damage equal to 5% of the enemy's maximum health per second. So that does, burn damage. It does a lot of health damage over time. Seraph's is really good. You get 20% mana each time a spell is cast. Zeke's Herald is good. Adjacent allies gain plus 10% attack speed. So these are some really good items, and I would recommend you guys build these A or S tier items. And the final item that I want to talk about is the Zephyr. On the start of combat, banish an enemy for 5 seconds. This item is incredible. You can also stack many of these. So if you have 1 or 2 or even 3 Zephyrs, I've gotten that before, you can banish 3 different champions on the board for 5 seconds. That's 3 champions out of the game for 5 seconds, and that allows your champions to do tons of damage before those champions can come back. So Zephyr is a powerful item. I really love this item. So in general, I would recommend any of you guys to go for the S or the A tier items. The ones in the B tier list, the C and D, those I would only get if you have to, or if you don't have a choice for going for S or A. But I would always recommend most of you guys go for the S and A, because the B, C, and D tier items are okay, but they're just not good enough. They're not overpowered. They're not meta items, basically. So anything outside of the S or A, I highly recommend you stay away from it. And if you can build S and A items, because they're totally possible, they're not hard to build, go for it for sure. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Once again, guys, hopefully this kind of gave you guys a good understanding on which items you should go for in the current meta, and I'll put the link on this website below in my video as well. But these are the items I would highly once again recommend you guys go for every time if possible, S and A. And remember, if to combine an item, you need to have 2 little pieces building into a tier 1 item, and if you build an item, you can't break it apart. So be very careful on how you combine your items, because once they're combined, they are combined, and it's going to stay together. Now, if you give an item to a champion and you don't want that champion to have the item anymore, sell that champion, you'll get the item back, but you can't break an item apart. For example, you won't be able to break apart Guinsu's Rage Blade if you build it. So just keep that in mind. Make sure you build your items carefully. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Once again, remember to subscribe, hit that like button as well, and comment as well. I'll come back with some more awesome Teamfight Tactics videos for you guys, and I'll see you guys next time.